Hello, it's time for another episode of Discipleship Today. My name is Bob Benson. I pastor Christ Lutheran Church in Bemis Point. We've been talking about what it takes to be disciples of Jesus Christ. And sometimes there's a ministry of just presence. You don't have to do anything or say anything. You just have to be there for people. And I think of that quite often as I think of the story of Job. Now, most of you know the story of Job, but I want to read just a little section of Job for you today. And I'll be reading from the English Standard Version. I'm reading from Job 2, verses 11 through 13. Now, Job's three friends heard all the evil that had come upon him, and they came each from his own place: Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamanite. And they made an appointment together to come to show him sympathy and comfort him. And when they saw him from a distance, they did not recognize him. And they raised their voices and wept, and they tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads towards heaven. And this is what I really want to concentrate on today. Verse 13 goes on, and it says, "And they sat with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that his suffering was great." I want to be that kind of friend. I want to be that kind of disciple of Jesus Christ and discipler, that when I know that there are people around me that are really hurting, we can just show up, be support. We don't have to say anything. We don't have to do anything. We just need to be present for them. I would love the book of Job if it ended at the end of chapter 3 and then it picked up again in chapter 42. But that's not what happens. And if you don't know the whole story of the book of Job and Job's story, I think you should take the time to sit down and read it. There's a lot of discussion that goes on between these three friends, and God eventually tells Job that he needs to pray for his friends. And he prays for his friends, and then God restores Job to a better place than he was before the whole thing started. And as disciples of Jesus Christ, sometimes the best thing that we can do for people is be in that ministry of presence. Just sit down in the dust and grieve with those who are grieving. And sometimes showing up and just celebrating when people are celebrating. Ecclesiastes, it says there's a time for everything. And we have to be attentive to the Spirit, and we have to be those kinds of disciples and disciple makers. So I would encourage you to read through the book of Job, paying special attention to the entire book, and being a good disciple. So for Discipleship Today, my name is Bob Benson. Thank you for taking your time to watch.